Why are you like that on a motorway? Just stop driving. Just give up with that. There's nothing stressful. You should be super chill on a motorway. You should just be sitting back with the elbows on the rest, very chill, because it's very easy to drive on a motorway.
Yeah.
And if you're sitting there at 55 miles an hour looking scared stiff.
Ease and out.
Out.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Drive Talk podcast, sponsored by Michelin.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah, good, mate. Very, very good. You all well?
Yeah, not too bad. It's a bit dark and wintry outside, but
no.
But yeah, it's not. Well, it's nice to be inside.
It's weird though, because we've had some really warm, sunny days recently, and then the next day it'll just be torrential rain and horrible.
Yeah,
and today's been rubbish. I haven't taken the dog out for a walk, and she's fast asleep on a bed down there. She's not really that bothered, to be honest. But she'll be all right. She'll live.
Yeah.
What have we got? What have we got on the cards today for this episode? We've got quite a lot of things to talk about.
I feel like we should try and do this like the beginning of a Top Gear episode. Like Pete drives a hypercar, Patrick experiences the 991 cab, and Joe Achilles talks about crap cars he would love to own.
Yeah. But before that, whose idea was the road rules one? Because I started writing my list down, and I just felt myself turning into an old dad, basically.
Oh yeah, me and Joe spent
grumbly old man.
As we spoke about in the last episode, we spent a lot of time on the road together and driving through Belgium, Germany, France, the UK. There's lots of different things I think we'd love to change about the road and the rules on the road. So
So we thought we'd come up with our road rules we'd like to change. And I just looked at this and thought, this is just a great way to get us either cancelled or murdered by lorry drivers.
How did you know all of mine were about lorries?
Lorry drivers and old people, basically.
Do we want to start off with cars you've been driving and experiencing recently, Pete? I know you just recently collected something which was on the channel.
I have a Mini again, a Mini JCW, the F66, which is the new one, as a long-termer from Mini. Sadly, it's not mine. And it's really, really good. It's a good little car. I'd driven the Cupra S last year, took it to the N24. And it's taken me this long to get into a JCW. And it's a brilliant little car, and it looks great. My big grumble, and I put a reel about it about it today, is it doesn't feel that special because every other bloody Mini you can buy has got John Cooper Works badging all over it. Because they now do it's like BMW do it with M, don't they? And Audi do it with S-Line. And it's now like a trim level. And what it means is, back in the day, you'd get in a JCW and it would have JCW badging and different seats, and the styling you'd feel special because you're in the top spec car. It'd be like you being in an M car, right?
Yeah.
And now it doesn't feel like that because the John Cooper Works, the Cooper S I had last year to take to the N24 had the JCW styling pack, and that meant it looked exactly the same, basically. The only difference is it's now got an exhaust out the back, whereas the Cooper S doesn't. But that's my first rant of the pod, actually, is manufacturers. The worst offender is VW with R line. So they now put an R badge on anything, and it's not an R. So for me, a Golf R is like the super powerful four-wheel drive mega sporty one, not a Tiguan with an R line pack.
Yep.
Rant over.
I think you always used to. There was always like, I don't know. You look around cars, you walk down the street, you drive past. There was always validators, right? Like, was that a? Is that a? And so, like, R line. You get the big R on the seats. And so all of a sudden you're like, oh, it must be a Golf R, or it must be... Joe, what was the car we saw in Germany actually the other week? It was a perfect example of this. It was you said, oh, that's a Golf Club Sport.
Yes. Oh, it wasn't. It was just a...
No,
but I think, no. Yeah, but I think that was a slight exception because the lady that owned it had clearly put a sticker kit on. That was not a factory product.
Oh, that's someone putting a Club Sport sticker kit on a Boggo. Oh, no, that's
another road rule, I think.
Yeah, I mean that would be like putting GTS stickers on your non-GTS. That'd be terrible. Oh.
That'd be like putting a spider sticker on your non-spider just to be part of the CSC.
No, you can't have a go at Craig's Spider Club.
Oh, Craig's Spider. I told Lou about that last night, and she was like, "There's not really a Craig Spider Club." I was like, "No, there is.
Yeah,
there is."
Yeah, I mean it's obviously way bigger than the Crayon Crew, which just has 2 members at the moment. But you know,
yeah, I love it
for obvious reasons.
I love that.
But yeah, no, I've got it till the end of Feb, and I'm enjoying it. It's really, really good. It's a cracking little car, actually.
Can we predict how many? Can we predict how many punches you'll get between now and February? Are we allowed to?
Hopefully none.
Hopefully none.
3, I
hopefully
think.
Not.
That's my guess.
I'll try not to have any. And no curbing of wheels. That would be good as well. But yeah, no, it's a really nice. It's like can't remember the name of the blue. It's like a really nice dark blue with
it's a very
black.
lovely colour.
It's a really nice spec. It's good.
Looks great, and it is nice. It's something. I mean, I know you're a mini guy, and that's sort of where you started your channel, really, wasn't it? Like, that's when I started to know you. It was like Pete, the mini guy, and it's just nice to see it because it looks so natural with you, that car and that brand. Yeah. They're very. I know you're a Porsche guy these days as well, but yeah, it's good. It looks good. I look forward to seeing that in the flesh. Very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool.
Yeah.
And then, so I've got to talk about another car though that I drove last week, which is so. The thing about the JCW is it's like 230 odd horsepower. It's not silly powerful. Front wheel drive. The big difference is it's actually got no more power than the outgoing model, but it's got a DCT gearbox, which has made the world of difference and more torque, so it drives better. I've just given back, it's gone back today actually, a Cupra Leon VZ3, right? Which, talking about cool specs, I do think Cupra have a brilliant taste in colour palettes and spec options. I think they've got some really nice, and this one was like I can't remember the name of it, it was satin finish for a start, which I wouldn't necessarily go on I know I've got a satin finish Spider before anyone says anything, but I wouldn't buy satin paint, because I think looking after satin paint compared with looking after gloss paint with satin PPF is a completely different thing. But it's basically it was a Golf GTI Club Sport underneath. It's got a 2-litre, 300 horsepower, front wheel drive, DCT gearbox. Drove brilliantly, really nicely. Gearbox fantastic. Not too much torque steer. Very, very quick. And all in all, brilliant. However, how much do you think? Because, so Joe, you had the Golf Club Sport only like a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yes. And
how much was that?
If you just hold the line caller, I'm just going to check, because I think it was 43.
It's obviously
base.
You won't have made the video yet.
No.
Come out. Well, no,
of course not. Here we go. Golf Club Sport. So as tested, it was 48, but the base price for it, I think it was 43 grand or 44 grand, I think, before options.
As tested, 48.
Yeah, right. as tested with lots of options. 43.2 on the road retail price. Yeah, there you go.
And so do Cupra has less of an option list? There's less you can spec? They kind of come as
the only thing, the press car I had that had options, the paint was a couple of grand and it had a pan roof, and I think that was like 900 quid or something.
Okay, so 45 probably then for the Cupra?
Right.
But why you say 45? But I mean,
no, just because the Golf and then a bit on for the colour, they're probably roughly the same price these days, are they? I don't know.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah. I would have said less.
Okay.
Because it should be. Yeah.
49.
Oh.
As tested, 52.
How is it more than a?
I don't know.
Like considerably more.
I mean, it had. So I don't know. So it had these really nice Sabelt carbon-backed sports seats, which were really nice.
Yeah.
And the interior was very nicely trimmed. The exterior, the wheels were mega. It's got a stonking set of brakes on it with like a bronze caliper.
The RS3 brakes, I think.
Just looked phenomenal. And they were one of the best. I think they were the best brakes I've had in a car I've been tested for a long time.
What are you doing with your mic, Pat?
Oh, sorry, I was just moving it.
He's rubbing it down his hairy chest. But no, brilliant brakes. But it was just, over 50 grand.
I mean, that is scary. I think the V, because from my understanding, I haven't had a Cupra for a while, but the VZ3 is like the top spec of that particular model. So I think you said like the carbon seats, they probably add up to a lot. It'd be interesting what a VZ2 or 1, I don't know if they do the 1 in the UK.
Yeah.
But still, either way, that's
punchy.
That's a lot of money. It is punchy. And I think it's probably Cupra trying to make up for the lack of Born sales or something. Is that what it's called?
I mean, the way it drove, I'd pay low 40s for it.
Yeah,
absolutely. It was a mega car to drive. Like really competent gearbox, really good traction. It handled its power really well because it's just front wheel drive, 300 horsepower through the front wheels, and it handled it really nicely. And it was a really nice place to be. The infotainment screen's like about twice as big as it should be. But yeah, I just like it. It was a bit of a couldn't believe it. I looked at the spec sheet. I'm like flipping out.
That's scary money for a hot hatch.
The Seat Leon was always the affordable Golf GTI or equivalent.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then,
I think
now
to be fair, I think it looks better than a Golf from the outside. It's certainly a more interesting car, especially in the spec I had. I think it's a pretty car from the outside. But anyway, moving on. Another rant over. We've got lots of rants on this episode of the Drive Talk podcast, powered by Michelin.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Well, what's our next?
I was going to say, Pat, come on. You've been to the States again.
How could you tell?
I've got another. Have you got a room with your baseball caps in? It must be like full. Like one of these hoarding programs.
It's a drawer. I don't have enough room yet to have like a display of them. But no, every time I go somewhere interesting, buy a cap from there.
Issue. Yeah. So you hired a 911.
Yes. Yeah. So I went to America.
You can tell who's getting paid to do all these trips, Joe? Goes to America, hires a 911. Yeah.
I know.
It was actually the most affordable. So I rented it via Turo, which is Airbnb for cars. If you haven't heard about it, it's predominantly American market. They have it in France. They do have it in the UK. They have it in Canada. But Turo, majority of their market and where you can get the biggest selection of cars is America, and it's like Airbnb. So if you were to put up your primary car, secondary car, maybe you buy a car just for Turo, in the same way that people had their primary residence, secondary, holiday home, or they buy a house to put on Airbnb. Exact same ethos. You speak to an individual, they drop the car off at the airport for you, collect the keys. It's a lovely experience. If anything, it's better than a traditional rental car experience. You get a wider variety, so you're not just stuck with the like A class or similar or whatever it is. I probably paid the same amount of money for this as like you would pay for a Mustang, like a V8 Mustang on Hertz or Six or whatever. I think it was £450 for 5 days, so not huge money at all. It was a 991 from 2014 cab.
Oh yes, Ped would love that. That's actually pretty. That's less than £100 a day for a fairly recent 911 in America. Like it's pretty good value, isn't it?
Yeah, and so that covers you like basic level insurance. So what you traditionally expect in the UK, comprehensive insurance with an excess as you'd expect. But the experience is lovely. You get to validate your license details and stuff 24 hours before, so none of that queuing at a desk, waiting to see what you get to get all your details kind of typed in and everything. We literally picked up the car from the international car park and was away in 5 minutes. This particular model was a nice like brownie, bronzy color. Had like, what would you call it? Like biscuit and brown leather interior as well. But yeah, it was. Oh no, sorry, it was grey on the outside. It was like a grey. like a grey colour, and the inside was like a bronzy brown.
How do you confuse brown and grey?
I was thinking of the interior when I said the exterior. So,
okay.
But it was a lovely colour, metallic colour, and yeah, the car was great. It roof down. I can now see the appeal, Pete. Maybe I would have joked about it with you before, but now having driven one, we did 800 miles or something in it across those 5 days on lovely scenic roads down the coast in a Highway 1 and that kind of area, and it's cool. And the windbreak as well, the windshield, what do you call it? Like the wind deflector, the wind deflector. Well, it's really good. Can have the roof down at kind of any speeds really, and it was a lovely experience. Big enough front boot. The only thing I will say about this is 991 with those weird, I don't know what you call them, Joe, the rockers on the steering wheel.
For the Tiptronic box.
Yeah, that I never got used to that, because I would instinctively be like, I'll go up a gear as I'm coming onto the motorway.
Your best bet's to use the shifter rather than the paddles.
Yeah, the paddles, they were the wrong way round, because you can do both controls on either side, and so that I never learned that. Yeah, I ended up just knocking it over into sport on the stick, and then back and forth on that where I needed to. It had terrible tires on it. Oh look, Peggy.
Peggy Begs, who's this? Sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately, it had proper ditch finders on it, and I mean that in the most polite way. I couldn't even tell you the name brand because I don't know what they are. So that was the only downside to this rental car experience. But yeah, the car wasn't fast. Like I had to Google it. 0 to 60 is 4.5 seconds, which is going to sound absurd that I'm like, oh, it's not that fast. But like in today's modern age, where like any electric car will sensibly do 5 seconds to 60 or 4.5, has a bit more of that push and that torque as well. But once you are up the revs, I don't know if it has an exhaust. It might have had a sports exhaust or something. But
I'm sure it had an exhaust. Yeah, petrol cars tend to.
But it sounded lovely. It was a nice driving experience.
What it won't have had, it won't have had any OPF or any filters or anything.
That definitely
helped.
Different
cat because you're in the States, right?
Yeah. None of that stuff. So no, mega experience. Just fun once you're at speeds. And the weight of the balance of the car is all lovely. But getting there was like, oh my God, yeah, we've been spoiled by either stuff that you guys have had that I've been able to drive, or even just driving around like a Tesla Model 3 or something. It feels so much faster to, kind of the speed limits when you're coming off a set of lights or something. But nothing beats that Porsche experience though, as a driving experience overall.
It was NA, wasn't it? That one, Ben.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Not the 0.1. So yeah, it probably would feel quite sluggish, and compared to modern stuff, like a base Carrera these days is, I think, feels really fast.
Yeah, we took that one to the Le Mans, Joe, didn't we? Or we took it. Yeah, took it to Le Mans. That was it. The yellow one, and that thing was rapid. Yeah.
Same colour as Ped's sofa. Wait, is that a new sofa, Ped?
No, it's been there. You slept on it, mate.
I know, but was it always yellow?
It had a cover on it, but not as in just a blanket. But it's always been yellow, even when you slept on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I'm sleeping, I'm not looking at the colour of things. I'm just sleeping.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's that. Well, while we're talking about interesting cars, I recently had a Porsche Panamera Turbo S e-hybrid. Now, they don't make them in the Sport Turismo anymore. As we know, they stopped with the Panamera. So you can only get it in like the saloon shape or whatever.
What drove that decision? The Panamera in the Sport Turismo is a mega.
It's the coolest thing, yeah.
I know. Although, unlike the Taycan, which, and I say in my video that will come out in the next 18 months, that unlike the Taycan, where I think you need the Sport Turismo for practicalities because the normal Taycan's boot's tiny and the rear cabin of the normal Taycan stuff, the Panamera, actually, the boot, because it's like a large hatchback, when the rear boot's open, and I'd say, not that Peggy can talk, but if she could, and she does when I'm around, that's her favourite car to date in terms of a space for a dog, because it was fantastic, because she's up there in the boot at the back, but it's still open to the cabin, but only a little bit. So she's got her privacy, loads of space, but really practical. But anyway, that isn't what I was...
on the back window like that as you do a launch control down the road. Slow down, Dad!
Well, yeah, I think I timed So on my race box, I timed 2.57 to 60.
Jesus.
But that wasn't the most impressive thing about that car. And I guess on paper, it looks like a direct competitor to like the M5 because they're both super saloons, German super saloons. They both produce over 700 horsepower. But as I'd already seen on a Carwell drag race, this Panamera absolutely smokes the BMW M5, and you do realise that straight away, and it does everything better. But it is like 70 grand more than the M5, so you're going to expect that. But the most impressive thing about it, and Harry Metcalf talks about it on his video, is the magic suspension it has. It has an air suspension, but it has so much stuff going on electronically, hydraulically underneath you that the ride quality. I went in to see my parents. It was Mum's birthday recently, and we went into London. We went up to Spaniards, where there's a pub that I've been going to since I was a kid, and we went over a number of speed bumps getting up there, as you do in central London. And honestly, you could just hit every single speed bump at 20 or 30 miles an hour, depending on the speed limit. You could just charge into it. And although you knew you're going over something, it's got all these cameras that basically predicts or sees what's about to hit the suspension, and it adjusts accordingly. So if you hit a speed bump, it just absorbs it, and there's no like you're gone, you're over it. The car's settled straight away, and unlike the M5, where you go over something like that, you feel it, you feel everything, and then it just seems to take 5 seconds to settle down again. And honestly, the suspension on that, what a car! And I think I can't remember if I say that in my conclusion, but if you had to have like one car, if you'd won the lottery and it was like a single car to do everything in, I can't imagine anything else beating it. And sure, it's 200 grand as option, that thing, but it was just an incredible feat of engineering from Porsche. They probably sell 10 a year, but what a machine. What a piece of kit.
Will that suspension go to KN or any of the other?
I
Because
think
that sounds like what Rolls-Royce used to do with the Cullinan and the Phantom. That's where the first time I saw that.
Yeah, I think it's a similar. It's exactly like the old Rolls-Royce did, and you could get on the 7 Series. But to me, it just felt like it was a way more advanced version of that, and it really predicted everything so well, even down to like small little potholes. It seemed to do stuff for, which is just like how have you managed to work out in a split second what that little pothole is going to do to the suspension, and then adjust it accordingly. It's and control, because it's still heavy, 2.4 tons, control that massive amount of weight and size. But yeah, I think the Cayenne, you can get it on some of the Cayennes, and again, I think the average Porsche customer, they're spending that kind of money, they'll probably end up just buying a Porsche Cayenne Turbo e-hybrid GT package, because that's what most people go in, right? They want the SUV. But what a piece of kit. Very, very impressive. And we saw it at the Porsche Museum. Pat and I popped in there last week, and they had one in the same spec, Madeira Gold Metallic, which had set the Nürburgring lap record for a large luxury saloon. I think it was 7:24, I want to say, full lap, which is pretty fast for something that weighs 2.4 tons. But yeah, very impressive.
It's good to see a Panamera though, because I thought that was a dead platform. I probably think, to be fair, but
I imagine Porsche thought so too when they brought out the Taycan. I imagine if the Taycan had been hugely successful and electric had been adopted by everybody, they probably would have just brought out an extended Taycan equivalent platform that would have replaced maybe Panamera. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened for them, and so Panamera continues to live another day.
Yeah. Very nice. But anyway,
to get that one.
Well, I think this, Ped, I thought that was a pretty special car, but you've driven something that's very, very special. At least this is like a Ped dream car, isn't it? Like,
well, it's now the most expensive car I've driven on the road on the channel.
Wow.
Because before that, it was a Singer at like just over $1 million. Last week, I drove a Koenigsegg Agera N. About just shy of 3 million quid, 1,060 horsepower.
Jesus.
Wow.
Unreal. So it's I kind of, the way I set the film up, I haven't put the film up yet, but I kind of go, there's classic cars, there's sports cars, there's supercars, and then there's hypercars. And we've been very lucky, the three of us, to drive lots of sports cars, and I'm going to put like 911 in that. That's, for me, 911 is a sports car, really. It's a very fast sports car. But then if you step up into something like a Ferrari or a McLaren or a Lamborghini or a Maserati MC20, like we saw in the last episode, they're supercars. And the difference between a sports car and a supercar is a lot. The difference between a supercar and a hypercar is unimaginable. They're just...
I'm intrigued by your definition of a hypercar. This has been brought up on a few podcasts. Me and Joe spoke about it. It's an interesting topic. So for you, is it the power number? Is it how it makes you feel, the value, like how special it looks, or how nervous you are to drive it? Like, what's your definition of a hypercar?
It's really hard, actually, because there's got to be a power element to it. But so I look at a Koenigsegg and I think hypercar. If I looked at a Ferrari SF90, I would think supercar. Yeah, actually, they're very similar performance and power. And so I don't know, for me, the hypercars, there's like the sort of Holy Trinity type hypercar, your LaFerraris and P1s and all that kind of stuff. Then there are the real kind of what's the boutique manufacturers of, like, Bugatti, Pagani, Koenigsegg. Those types of guys instantly drop into hypercar. But I think it's a really fuzzy line, a bit like the line between supercar and sports car. I said that 911 was a sports car. Lots of people go, well, no, 911 Turbo is a supercar. Well, a turbo probably is. Is a GT3 a supercar, or is it a fast sports? I don't know. So I don't know. I think it's shits and giggles and chats down the pub with your mates, basically. But
it's how you interpret it, really, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah.
But
the 0 to 60 time was about the same as that Panamera you've just been talking about.
Yes.
And that's not a supercar or a hypercar or a sports car.
Yeah. About 2.5 seconds to 60, but it's got a top speed of 272 miles an hour.
That's quite a lot.
So it's quite fast then.
And what was really funny, so the lovely owner, Tommy, who it was his singer that I drove. So he runs Super Ventura Koenigsegg, the big Koenigsegg dealer in the UK, right? And he's had Koenigsegg's, been selling them for 20 years. He's got 4, and he knows them really well. So I'm driving along because he drove it first, alarmingly, and I'm driving along trying not to think about the fact I'm in like a £3 million car. And I just said, the bit I'm interested in, not that we can demonstrate it on the road, is what are they like at the edge? When you get to the edge of their envelope, are they friendly? Do they let you know they're breaking away? Do they kind of talk to you and stuff? And he went, wow. He said, yeah. He said this one, the nose goes a bit light between 180 to 190 because it's not got so much aero. But if you push on through that, it's fine.
That's really good to know.
What, 80 miles an hour that you get to do once you push past 190? And it's okay at that point. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, if you do like a drag race with them, he said the difference is, so if you're racing a supercar, even a really fast one, to like 100 miles an hour, 150 miles an hour, there's not a great deal in it. But the difference between a hypercar and a supercar, I think, is even a supercar, when you get to like 150 miles an hour, it starts to kind of get to the edge of what it can do. And a hypercar still has some left.
Yeah.
And you'll get to it, and the hypercar, 150 miles an hour, the hypercar will just keep going and the supercar won't. And that's the difference, I think. And we talked a bit about the whole Yang Wang U9 thing and the tyres thing, because Koenigsegg, obviously, they were famous for their 0 to 400 to 0 tests. They've done the top speed tests. And it was interesting talking about that. And I think the big limiting factor and the reason why Koenigsegg haven't done anything similar to that, and whether they'll even come back with the Yang Wang thing, is tyres. It comes back to what we said the other week in a thing. It's just the ability for a road tyre to operate at north of 280 miles an hour is a real challenge. So, but it was just an immense experience. And
did you learn any more about maybe how you would spec one, or like what's that process like? They're all unique, right? Koenigsegg's. It's not like there's a standard Koenigsegg. Like, how does that work?
No, so it's even cooler than that. So this one was a 15-year-old car, right? It was made in 2011.
Jesus. Okay.
It was a Koenigsegg Agera in 2011. In 2017, the then owner went back to Koenigsegg and had some work done on it. It basically took a whole bunch of stuff off the 1-to-1. The car that was famously 1,000 kilos and 1,000 horsepower or equivalent. So it had lots of 1-to-1 bits on it. And when you do that, Koenigsegg say, well, that's a unique car. You can give it a name. And the N in Koenigsegg Agera N is the owner at the time's initial. So that's basically unique to him. So you've basically, when you're going to buy a car like that, you can pretty much, ask for anything. It depends how deep your wallet is.
That's
so
good.
The car we were looking for, I was talking about the Jumeirah, because obviously that's like a hypercar with 4 seats, and that's going to be proper mental. That is, but yeah.
That's the one Joe just tested, wasn't it? Made by Porsche, or was that a different one?
the
four-door Hyper Saloon thing. That's basically just what you just tested.
Yeah.
But I
what was the driving position like? Because that's the thing with a lot of these supercar and hypercars. That I must admit, I'm not. I can appreciate them. You're way more of you like your hypercars and supercars. I
do.
They don't really excite me because I know for a fact in my lifetime I'm never going to be able to afford one. But it's probably not even that. It's just that I think there's a sports car for me. A good sports car is everything I'm ever going to want or need in a car. But at the same time, looking at you drive that makes me happy, because it's like, and talking to you about it afterwards, because it's like I do want to know what it's like, because it's a ridiculous car.
I know I'll never be able to afford one. I've got my perfect car parked downstairs, and that, and I'm quite happy with that.
The Mini.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that's mine. I actually own that. Yeah. The bank owns the Spider.
Yeah,
but I love supercars, but the more I drive them, the more I realise that I probably would never want to own one.
Yeah,
because they're just the money involved that you need to be able to buy even like a £150,000 Ferrari or McLaren. That, when you look at how much it costs you, well, you either buy it outright, so you need 150 grand in the bank, or you're paying a lot of money on installments and all that kind of thing, depreciation and all those things. I'm not into that at all, but driving them is really cool. Going back to your first question, the driving position was really cool. I'm a tall guy. I had loads of room. But what was really cool about that car is the canopy, the glass on it I just felt like I was sat in an LMP1 car, because you've got this canopy in front of you, and all the interior was all this diamond stitched leather, and this the windscreen wiper right in the middle of the windscreen, doing that, and it was just cool, basically. So yeah, it was cool, and as I said, it was a 15-year-old car, and it just drove beautifully. And I think he was saying that when that car was sold new, I think it was something like £500,000 or £600,000.
Wow!
And it's now 3 million.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's around 300 Koenigsegg's in the world. That's all the cars they've made.
Wow.
And it was relatively, compared with what Koenigsegg do with things like fancy gearboxes and no valves in the engine and stuff, it was a fairly normal configuration car, and a big 5-litre V8 in the back. It had, a flappy paddle, single clutch gearbox. It was wicked.
Yeah.
But yeah, and on the road, just terrifying. You can't. I mean, it was so fast.
Yeah.
Like, apparently.
Final question, because me and Joe drove a 2011 car, probably about the same kind of ilk style, same kind of. What kind of MPG were you doing?
We were doing some MPG, yes.
There was an MPG at least.
An MPG, yeah, an MPG.
Yeah. So it doesn't have a readout on the dash like our car.
I don't know, but it's Tommy pretty much dailies it. He's done 20,000 miles in it. So, it's a car that's comfortable. It's got luggage space. It's not, I mean, that Gemera has got enough room for four adults and 4 flight cases for those adults. And, it makes you look like a Valkyrie. You think, well, what was going on with Valkyrie? Did they not think about luggage and stuff? You got like a overnight tiny little bag to put a toothbrush in. But yeah, it was a really cool experience. Really cool. So.
Awesome. Oh, we're talking about, before we get onto the car challenge, because I'm conscious of time.
Yeah, you were the one who said, let's make it short. Yeah.
I know the last episode went on quite a bit, but you just mentioned Valkyrie. When Pat and I were at Calais Eurotunnel a couple of weeks ago, we spotted a Valhalla.
Yeah.
Which and it was a prototype vehicle. I didn't realise that people had already seen the car and whatever. I got really excited because I was like, "Oh my god, it's the first one ever!" Because it had prototype written everywhere. But I have to say, the Valkyrie, although I can appreciate what it does, it kind of does nothing for me because it's just made for really short, rich men and women, like little midget, like tiny people.
Yeah.
No, I don't think Pat. No, like really small people. Like like the cockpit on it just looks ridiculous. Yeah. And in my head, it's like you kind of cheated a little bit there because you've made something that you've made like it's a cake. It's just too small. Whereas the Valhalla, well, we didn't get to sit in or anything, but just looking at the outside, it's actually like a normal size supercar. But it looked really, I must admit, it looked absolutely stunning. Like the finish on it, the sizing, the ratios of everything. That looks like a proper bit of kit, that thing. And I thought it wasn't going to be before seeing one. I thought it's just going to be another Aston that doesn't sell. Lined up against the rest of the Astons. But yeah, it looks cool.
It is cool. And I know someone who's ordered one, and I'm hoping to do some filming with it.
Is it Jet Collector?
No, it's not actually. No, it's someone else. And a really good mate of mine he heads up Aston Martin Q, so he is responsible for speccing them all. But they are, when you see one in the metal, or carbon, they are mega things.
Yeah, nice.
And this one, Joe was running what tires? Finally, what tires was it on?
It was
just on a road trip around Europe.
Yeah, it was on Michelin Pilot Sport S5 tires, which I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Because I know the S5 was only homologated for, I don't know, I'm making this up, but let's say 20 special cars, including my M5. But I know Aston have obviously done a couple because I think it's on another
Vantage
Aston.
And Vanquish.
Vantage
and Vanquish.
Yeah.
And DB12 as well, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
AML edition tires.
Yeah, so it was good to see them because initially I saw the sidewall, I was like, oh my god, it's on cups, and we're in basically November.
It has OEM Cup 2 and Cup 2Rs.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. No, but it was nice to see it because it was a damp evening. It was cold, and I thought, I wouldn't fancy being on cups, but yeah, it was on S5s. Yeah. But anyway, right, let's get into this
road rules.
Road rules, not crap car.
What are we doing first? Crap cars or road rules? What's first?
Road rules.
Okay. Road rules first. Okay. I've got. Shall I start? I've got one, and I made this one up again. Me and Joe did this lovely week-long road trip. Spent a lot of time sitting on the motorway, judging other people's driving.
So let's say that. So this is road rules or regulations that you would change if you can.
Yes, these are ones we would like to introduce if we could, if we could decide the rules of the road. So I'll go with my main one that kind of started this all off and why we want to have it as a topic was that lorries should not be able to overtake other lorries during peak hours. So when you're on the road and it's 9 a.m, it's 5 or 6 at night, you're coming home from work, particularly where we were going through. Obviously, you're doing long motorway runs in and out of through Germany into Belgium and stuff. But the amount of times, the 3-lane motorway would effectively become a 1-lane motorway because a truck doing 55 miles an hour has decided to overtake another truck doing 54 miles an hour. And so like that then pulls out. You've then got these two trucks sitting next to each other. And so all of the, people don't use lane discipline anyway. So everybody then funnels out into the outside lane. And now you've got a 1-lane motorway. And of course, those cars then slow down because someone gets nervous about the fact that, they're going past a lorry and isn't that a bit daunting? And now the whole motorway's at standstill traffic because 30 miles up the road, someone's had to overtake a lorry. They've gone past it at 50 miles an hour whilst that's doing 55 whilst the other one's doing 54. And it does my head in, particularly when you're in Europe and there's lots of lorries coming along. The UK is pretty bad as well. But when you're on those super long stretches, driving back from Germany, you really do notice it a lot that these lorries should not be overtaking each other at peak times. They can do it overnight, do it at 2 a.m, but don't do it at 6 p.m. or at 9 a.m.
Pat, mate, you've gone there, and all I'm going to say is, be ready for the hate because I went there. I had a similar thing as my number one. All I've put is lorries shouldn't be able to overtake each other on uphill stretches of dual carriageway or motorway.
Yeah.
And actually, in the I think we've talked about this on the pod before. The A34, they did a trial of it a while ago. Now, I think that's a very good one. I know the pushback you're going to get from people is that lorry drivers are, critical infrastructure. They're moving things around. And
you're going to get there 2 minutes later. It doesn't matter.
I know. I didn't realise until my mate Paul became a truck driver that they're now the biggest metric they all have is they've got these like a data recorder in the cabs of modern day lorries that record efficiency and fuel efficiency. Drivers will be literally targeted on fuel efficiency. And that's why the speed limit was brought in the first place. So that's why they don't like slowing down because that's the other one is if they're doing both the 55 mile an hour thing, right? Why doesn't the truck in lane one just lift off the throttle just for a couple of seconds to let the other truck in? It's not hard, but it's to do with fuel efficiency. But yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, just get the system out of Joe's M5 where it gives you the torque fill with the electric, and then they don't have to worry about efficiency. The gearbox can stay in 7th, 8th, 10th, 15th gear. There's a little bit of electricity, just to torque fill, just to push.
You have no idea the Pandora's box you've just opened.
I look forward for this clip going on Facebook. I'll deactivate my Facebook account.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Joe?
Well, I'm going to make a lot of truck drivers happy with this one because I think that although there's a stupid 70 mile an hour top speed in the UK for motorways, which is so prehistoric, it's unbelievable, especially when you spend a lot of time in France, which is 85 odd miles an hour, obviously Germany. But I think there should also be in a car or similar, there should be a minimum speed limit. So you should have to do 65 miles an hour minimum GPS, unless you're in a Volkswagen Passat 2011 going for a mileage challenge, obviously. But what really upsets me more than anything else is when I see a truck or a coach or a bus having to pull out to then congest the rest of the motorway to get around someone who is sitting in their Toyota Prius doing 55 miles an hour for no apparent reason whatsoever. If you're not going to sit at 70 miles an hour and you're incapable of doing that, then get off the motorway or just don't drive. Just give up driving because it's not hard. It's really not difficult. And if you don't have the brain capacity to do that, then just hand your driving license in because you can't drive. Because there's nothing easier than sitting at 70 miles an hour on a motorway. And this goes on to another one that, you see people on motorways, they look scared stiff. They've got their hands usually at the top of the wheel. And they look, and you're like, why are you like that on a motorway? Just stop driving. Just give up with that. There's nothing stressful. You should be super chill on a motorway. You should just be sitting back with your elbows on the rest. Very chill, because it's very easy to drive on a motorway.
Yeah.
And if you're sitting there at 55 miles an hour looking scared stiff, get off the motorway. Also, get some points for going so slow because there's no reason for it. That's it.
I think a way. Oh, I was going to say quickly, a way to enforce this as well is that it should be mandatory in your driving test. And I know why you don't, and we can go into
Cornwall.
that. But you should have to learn how to drive on a motorway as part of your driving test. Because the reason why someone's scared stiff doing 55 is because nobody ever taught them how to drive on a motorway. And then they went out onto a motorway and they saw big lorries, got scared, sat in the middle lane, and did 55 miles an hour. Because they've never done 70 before in their life.
And now spend their lives getting overtaken by big lorries because it's like a vicious circle. So if you go a bit faster, they then overtake you. That's what it's really easy.
So the night driving a motorway, that's 0.3 on my list.
Okay.
Motorway speed limit increased to 85 miles an hour.
Yes.
That's number 2 on my list. And then number 8 on my list is 3 points for not driving fast enough on a motorway.
Well, there you go. Done.
It's just like, and I mean, I know we've done the other one is also if lane 1 is empty, get in lane 1.
Oh, don't.
No, you should get 3 points per lane you're over.
Yeah,
that should be the rule. So if the police stop you and you're in lane 4 of a 4-lane motorway and there's no one in lane 3, 2, or 1, you should immediately lose your license. And then if you're in lane 3, it's 9 points, and if you're or however, it would be no points for lane 1, so it'd be 3, 6, 9. Yeah, you should nearly be losing your license if you're in lane 4 of a 4-lane motorway, and there's no one in lanes 3, 2, or 1.
But can you tell me? Sorry.
No, go on, Joe.
Now, can you tell me that why in the world that we live in today, where we know that police love to make revenue from speeding and all the rest of it, and they park in, on gantries of really safe motorways and do you for doing 75 as opposed to in a school zone where they should be focusing on. Why in a world like this, why are they not getting, why are fines not given to these middle lane hoggers? And you could even ramp it up because there's so many undercover cop cars, especially on motorways. You see them going flying past all the time with their blue lights. Why, there should be, if you go past, and I don't know if you're allowed to flash cars, but let's just say if you do, I'm not admitting that I do, but if you're in the middle lane and there's someone just sitting there, you give them a quick flash, they move over, you pass them, then you pull into the lane 1, and then they start flashing you. Now, in that instance, it should be like you get a fine and 3 points for being in the middle lane, and then, but the police, then their police do that move, and then if you get flashed and you're the cop car, then you get another 3 points. And can you imagine? It's like there's $1,000 and you've just got 6 points. I mean, that is, and then they flash you, and then what do? Immediately pull back out, and it's like, you know that you had to move over left because you shouldn't be there. So you know that, but that's obviously upset you. So you feel the need to flash me and then pull straight back out again into the middle of nowhere. What is wrong with you? I mean,
or Joe, as we saw a lot of the, so let's say we're in a 2011 car recently. So it's a slower car, not the fastest thing in the world. So we would pull out, maintain a sensible motorway speed wherever we were in the world. And then the car on the inside, the one that we've just pulled out past, would then speed up. So then we're on a cruise, right? So we're doing an indicator, whatever it is, in whichever country. So we're just doing that speed. It has not changed at all. We've anticipated the car lower than us. We've anticipated pulling around it, indicate out. They then speed up to the same speed, if not a little bit more. So then we have to come back. We have to come back in because that's the correct thing to do, as we've all established here, that you shouldn't sit in the outside lane. And then they slow down again, which means because we haven't this car doesn't have adaptive cruise, which is a better example, which means then we have to then go out again, and you can be sitting there for 20 minutes, kind of go back and forth, because I don't know what are people getting do they have an ego problem with being overtaken on the motorway? What is it?
Just the arseholes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on the same page with that one. I've got one here, tailgating. Anyone who does tailgating should be shot as well.
No, but again, unless you're in a Passat and you're doing a speed challenge, then tailgating's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Which one? So there's a speeding one. And I'll leave that one to last because that's going to get me cancelled. I think that it will definitely.
How many have you got?
Oh, quite a few. I've got one here, and it's obviously to do with my links to the Institute of Advanced Motorists.
Yes.
I think that everybody should have to have a retest every 10 years to allow themselves to carry on driving. Whether that's a physical, actual driving test or some kind of assessment, rules change, signage changes, and people degrade in their mental capacity. And at the moment, you can pass your driving test at 17 years of age in the UK and not have to do anything until you're 70. All you have to do at 70 is write off to get your license, and they send you another one until 75. And only at 75 do you have to have, I think, an eye test. That doesn't stack up to me.
No.
So some kind of check to make sure you're okay. And I think it's a bit like, so I've got, with a race license, you have to, at certain milestone birthdays, you have to have a medical to carry on having your race license. And you moan because it's like £100 or whatever to have a medical, but that's the privilege of having a race license, and it should be exactly the same for the road. And if you can't afford it, then tough.
Yep. Yeah. If you can't, it should be. I think something that didn't put you in a physical car, keep the cost down. It's some sort of test. Yeah. Anybody can do it. It shouldn't be. It's almost like it's so easy on paper, so easy that you should just easily pass it. Right? It takes you half an hour or something. But I guarantee you, the amount of people that wouldn't pass it, you're in lane 3 of a motorway, lane 1 and 2 are empty. What do? If they stay in the outside lane, immediately ban them, right? Yeah. Immediately ban them.
Ban for life.
So that's me, because that just does my head in. And especially when you hit 70, sorry, old people, but there should be more checks. I live in an area where there's lots of old people, and the amount of them you see driving around, that should not be driving. Yeah. Because they're either the ones Joe's moaning about not going fast enough on the motorway, or they're just a bloody liability. So yeah,
there should be a reaction test, a simple reaction test. That's what they need. From the age of 50, I think every 5 or 10 years you should get a reaction test.
Yeah. And then my last one. Do you have near you? Do you have the locals that put high vis jackets on and stand at the side of the road with like a speed gun?
No, our ones don't have speed guns. They're normally just nicking things where I live.
No, they have speed guns.
London,
they do that. They do that near me, right? And if they catch you, you get a letter from the police. They've got no rights because they're not police people, but you'll get a letter saying you were spotted speeding, slow down. If it happens again, naughty boy, they'll take it next step further. So my simple one is, anybody who does that and puts the high vis jacket on, should be banned from driving, because they're just sad. They need to get a life, and especially if any of them have got points on their license.
Which
if
they probably all have.
On your license, bet they have, and you're there going pointing a hairdryer at someone, and they always near us on the way between here and Titton, they hide behind bushes and stuff and jump out, and they're always there with their clipboards. They're like hunting packs. There's normally like 3 or 4 of them there. One of them's been trained and is promoted to have a speed gun. The other one's got a clipboard, and the third one's sad because he's not got any job at all. They just look out for cars doing that to them as they go past. They should be banned for life. Anyway,
I mean, in my head, that's as close to impersonating as a police officer as you can get, really, right? Like, you've got high vis, you've got the gun. I mean,
I just drive past them, wind the window down, and I go, get a life.
Well, they just got to hope that they don't bump into Brad in his 1,000 horsepower M3 Touring, because that could all end in tears. Yeah,
it could do. Yeah, watch the last episode to get views on that one.
So
that's on my list.
No,
I've got one more, Joe. I don't know if you've got any. I've
got
one more. No.
Come on, hurry up.
No. I think we should end this here. I think maybe crap cars should come in another episode.
I think so too.
I think it deserves its own space and time, because I think we'll have some interesting opinions on that. So look forward to that in the next one.
Also, I can do some more research. I've already got one.
Yes. You probably misunderstood this one. Turning right on red in America. Turning right on red in America is a good idea. Now, the people that actually do turn right on red, sometimes it's a bit questionable how they do it. But I like the premise, and I think the same thing could be implemented into the UK. It would have to be left on red rather than right on red to be on the correct side of the road. But I like the idea of filtering. Again, you can't just do it because it's red. You can't just drive through it and have a crash. It's still your fault. But it's like if you come to any junction in the UK where it's a side road onto a main road, obviously you check both ways, you pull out. In America, if you've got they have lots of intersections, you can turn right on a red light as long as it's safe to do so. I think it's a very good rule. It allows for flow of traffic is better. You're not stuck for no reason. I really like it.
They have lots of intersections because they're not clever enough to understand how a roundabout works, basically.
That is true.
It is spooky because I was literally sat at a traffic lights last week wanting to turn left, sitting there forever, just going, why can't I turn left? There's no reason. You look at the traffic where it's coming from. It's like there's absolutely no reason at the moment why I can't turn left.
And sometimes, some traffic lights do have an independent light for a left turn or a right turn to big on the junction. And even some big roundabouts now have individual slip roads for going off what would be the first exit onto another major road or something. So you can maintain a 30, 40 mile an hour speed into another 50 or 60 or something. And that's lovely. But yeah, I think right on red and the UK equivalent, which is be left on red, I think would be sensible. Now, if we brought that in, there would be numerous crashes, and I'm sure it wouldn't actually work out because people can't even drive straight on the motorway, as we've just established. But I think it's a nice idea.
Yeah, well, talking of that, I've got one more I just thought of, and it's not a UK thing, actually. It's a French thing, and I love driving in France. I love most of the French roads. I think their toll route system, although it's expensive, it's so reliable. You can get places in France if you need to, which is great. And the road, some of the roads that I've found over the recent years are just brilliant because they actually seem to maintain their roads. Also, they seem to, if they're repairing a road, they repair it. They repair it overnight. They don't spend They don't spend 7 years pretending to repair something like they do over here. But they have this old rule that still is still in place in certain areas, not necessarily like, I don't know, just around Paris or just in the south of France, in certain areas in France. And I think it's called priority, or however you would pronounce that in French, but it's spelt similar. Priority à droite. Yeah. So it's basically giving way to the right. Okay. And you've got to be very careful when you come off the main toll routes in France, because a lot of the older villages and towns still have this priority to the right. And what that means is if you're on a main road and you're cruising along the main road and there's a tiny little side street, could even look like a footpath, it's an old gravel track, that road could quite possibly have the right of way. And
oh, wow.
You really got to be careful for that when you're on a motorbike, but on any vehicle. And there's a certain, it's worth looking it up. There's a certain sign, it's like a cross sign that you see all over France. And you're like, wonder what that means. And that means that in this particular road or area, priority to the right is still the law. But to make things really difficult and complicated it's not the rule everywhere. It's only 10% of France. So, and if you miss that sign, so that's just like, come on, like we're in 2026 basically. Like, I get that it was a rule back in the day, but you need to now change it so that the whole country doesn't have that anymore. Because in my head, having a rule on one road but not on the other road is like, that is just a recipe for, there must be some terrible accidents as a result of that. Because tractors and stuff just come out of like, or whatever, just come flying out. They don't even look like, especially older people. Like, I'd seen it a couple of times on my bike, and I'm like, once or twice it happened to me, and I was like, oh shit. And I'm about to like go mad at the person, and I'm like, wait a second, oh shit, we're in one of those priority à droite or whatever. Anyway, but that's my little rant about.
Okay, so Joe's got a roll rule he'd like to have removed. I've got a final one to really finish this off in 30 seconds. What we need is a toll route road through Belgium where no Belgian drivers are allowed to drive on it, and so we can safely get to Germany or wherever else we'd like to go through Belgium. Maybe it's, well, I guess, Switzerland in the south, but however it is, like, I just want a road where we're safe from Belgian drivers, where we can drive through. That's the rule. They're not allowed to be on it. Any number plate other than a Belgian one, and we can just safely go through your country without having to stop. There'll be no service stations or anything. You just got to go through. It's like Death Valley or something, like just one road and get out the other side as quickly as possible.
Sign me up. How can a country that is literally next door to France has a language that's near identical? They love their baguettes and their croissants, and yet you go through France on a toll route and it's perfect. You go through Belgium and it's complete opposite. It's worse than anywhere in the world in terms of traffic and in terms of their ability. It's I mean, are you even allowed to say that? I don't know, but they're just. You know what's the worst? I lived in India when 2007. I've spent a lot of time in places like Italy where everything is kind of predictable. The traffic is mad. But it just all works for whatever reason. It's not organized chaos. It's just chaos, but it kind of works. Whereas when you're in Belgium, you don't really know what's going on. You can't predict what anyone is going to do. Like it's like. We drive in 2D, but in Belgium it feels like you're in 4D and there's cars falling out the sky. Like it's just like they are so bad. And I would like to apologise to any Belgium listeners because I know I put up a story when Pat and I were in Belgium the other week, and normally I have my Belgian followers going, "Thanks, they are just the worst," because I know it's not all of them; it's only 99.9% of them. But I actually had this guy, and he messaged me. He said, "Oh, thanks a lot. I'm a long-time subscriber of yours. I've just got an M2 CS on order, and I'm not sure about what you said about Belgian drivers." I was like, "Mate, seriously, like, how can you not be aware of your country and your drivers being so bad?" Anyway,
we should end it there. That's probably cancelled us. If it wasn't the lorry drivers or what Pete said about the Wombles in the jacket, it's now the Belgians. Okay, so
if you are a lorry driver or Belgian or over the age of 70, make sure you subscribe and follow us on all of our various social media platforms because we're there for you. We love you. Yeah, well, Joe doesn't, and Pat doesn't much either. Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh dear. That was a good one. Right, guys, thanks for watching. As I said, I was being serious about the subscribe thing, but yeah. We'll see you on the next episode.
Easy now.
Easy now.